Everyone is doing absolutely incredible. I have just got back from Marbella. Just make sure my mic is on. Yeah, I just got back from Marbella. I actually missed my flight. So I had to buy another one. And now I am back in Manchester. And the reason I was in Marbella, I went over there for a mastermind session with my mentor. You know, I'm really big on mentorship and getting around people who are where I want to be and doing exactly what they tell me to do. And that's also what I did with my mentor, Bob Proctor, as well. You know, Bob told me what to do and I followed it. And within 5.5 months, I turned my yearly income into a monthly income. Now, there was a few things that I was going over with my mentor that was just so incredible. They just blew my mind. And I want to share them with you guys, right? So ever since I've been there, I've been studying this book by Neville Goddard. It's called The Power of Awareness. Now, it's very, very powerful, and it's all about assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And I've just come off a Q&A call with my clients, and I had to share it with them, okay? Because by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, we put ourselves onto the vibration of the goal that we have. So if you're going to tune into this, you're most likely an entrepreneur who's making around £3,000 to £5,000 a month and wants to start making £10,000 plus a month with time freedom. You know, we don't build businesses to be working all day, sacrificing every waking hour away from our family, you know, sacrificing our health, right? And once you understand this material, you know, you probably know about the law of attraction. You probably know about my mentor, Bob Proctor. Now, once you really embody this material, you will start to attract 5 figures a month, every month, pardon me, with absolute ease. You know, I travel all of the time. I'm living my best life. And if I'm honest, I have never worked as little and attracted as much in my life. Okay, so I just want to break down a few things in this book. It's very, very powerful. Now, Neville says, however, the only fate governing your life is the fate determined by your own concepts. He says your own assumptions. For an assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. So the goal that you seek, your goal is £10,000 plus a month, right? $10,000 plus a month. 5 figures at least, right? The 5 figures that you seek and hope to attain will not manifest itself, will not be realized by you until you have imagined that you already make 5 figures a month. There is no escape for you except by a radical psychological transformation of yourself, except by your assumption of the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Very powerful, right? Now, what does he mean by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled? Well, to understand what Neville's saying, we've got to go into a few universal laws. You probably know about the law of attraction, okay? But the law of attraction is actually a secondary law. The primary law is the law of vibration, okay? Now, it's the vibration that your body is in that's dictating what you attract. So when we assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, it means that within us, we are a vibrational match for that £10,000 plus per month, okay? Now, when you feel like you're already making 5 figures every single month, you're on the same vibration as it. Because feeling is a word that we made up to describe conscious awareness of vibration. So when someone turns around and says, I feel like I never get any sales, I feel like all the leads that come to my business are rubbish leads, okay? What you're basically doing is you're putting yourself onto that vibration, okay? Now, your vibration is dictating what you attract. And when it comes to money, when it comes to your business, you'll know what vibration you're on just by looking at your results, okay? So the £10,000 plus version of you, how would you feel? Like if you was watching me live right now and you was making 5 figures every single month, how would you feel? What would that feel like? Now, what you've got to do is you've got to stay in that feeling. You've got to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Now, you can't stay in this feeling for a day. You know, you've got to stay in this feeling until it manifests in your outside world. But what I can tell you is that if you stay in this feeling, that means that you stay on the vibration. Now, like I said before, your vibration is dictating what you attract. And most entrepreneurs think they've got to hustle, they've got to grind. No, you've not. You've just got to make your subconscious mind believe that you make £10,000 plus every single month. Once your subconscious mind believes that, you've assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Because your subconscious mind is your emotional mind, it's your feeling mind. Now, what you feel, you attract. So what Neville teaches, that feeling is the secret. Okay? That's why, I went from earning £15,000 a year and I turned that into a monthly income with 5.5 months. And when people ask me, like, did you believe it would happen? Of course. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened. And I wasn't shocked when I started making £15,000 a month, because in my mind, I felt like I was making £15,000 a month. And it was that feeling that caused the manifestation. Hi, Amelia. Hi, Jensen. Hope you guys are doing amazing. So it was that feeling, okay? And let me ask you this. How do you feel around money? Let me know in the comments. What are the dominating feelings that you have around money? Some people feel gratitude. Some people feel abundant, prosperous. Other people feel scared. Other people feel like there's never enough money, okay? Now, whatever you believe about money is true to you. I believe money is very easy to earn. And because I believe it, my belief is creating the fact. Because I assume the feeling that I earn money no matter where I am. In the past 8 weeks, I've been to the Caribbean. I've been to Monaco. Where else have I been? Nice, Cannes. I got back from Marbella today. I took my mum to Barcelona. In a few days, I go to France, and then I go to Dubai. And no matter where I am, I just always attract money. Why? Because no matter where I am, my vibration comes with me. And it's your vibration that's dictating the amount of money that you can attract. So if you're really serious about making £10,000 plus a month, then this should be of extreme importance to you. And what I would recommend is that you go to the link in the description and download my free £10,000 plus month breakthrough blueprint. I break down the exact shifts that you need to make within your subconscious mind to attract £10,000 a month. And I promise you, once you make them shifts, you can forget about working hard. We're literally magnets. Once you become a magnet to money, you can't help but attract it. The right clients turn up. The right business opportunities turn up. The right people turn up to the sales calls, okay? Have you ever found yourself saying, I just attract rubbish leads all of the time? Well, you're attracting them because you're on that vibration, okay? So you've got to change your vibration and stop blaming the outside world. This is one thing that Bob taught me. Because when I first came to my mentor, Bob Proctor, I thought that if you want to earn lots of money, you've got to work really hard. And Bob told me, no, you don't. You've got to change your frequency. You've got to change your vibration. And then you're going to attract everything that you need. And at first, I didn't believe him because I got kicked out of school at 13. I've hardly got any education. And I just didn't believe that you can attract money. Like, what does attract mean, right? And you're probably like the old me. You do the affirmations, you do the visualization, but nothing changes. And the reason that nothing changes and you keep making, you keep making the same amount of money every single month is because subconsciously you don't believe you're worth that amount of money. I'm telling you, once your subconscious mind believes that you are worthy of making £10,000 plus a month, you will know because you will see it in your results. Your results always tell you what is going on inside of your subconscious mind. So it's got nothing to do with your industry, it's got nothing to do with your business, and it's got everything to do with you. Okay? So most people are like, I will feel great when I make the £10,000 plus. No, the feeling has to come first. So you've got to ask yourself, if I was everything I ever wanted to be, if I was attracting the right clients, if I was having clients come to me and pay in full and they just can't wait to get mentored by me or whatever service that you provide, if you really believe that, it shall come to pass. It's very powerful, okay? Now there's another part in here where it says, everything depends on your attitude towards yourself. That which you will not affirm as true of yourself can never be realized by you, for that attitude alone is the necessary condition by which you realize your goal. So what are you affirming? What are you saying in your inner conversations with yourself? Are you saying to yourself, oh, I make the same amount every single month? Because if you want to make 5 figures plus every single month, you've got to be saying to yourself, wow, I am making £10,000 plus every single month. Because anything that we put after I am starts to manifest in our lives. I'm an amazing salesperson. People love to work with me. If you was doing all of these affirmations all of the time and mixing emotion and feeling with them, they have to manifest in your life. So you are where you are right now because of the things that you're saying to yourself. You know, you change your thinking, you change your outside world, because your outside world is just a direct reflection of your inner world. As within, so without. Okay? Very powerful stuff. There's a chapter here on the truth that sets you free. It says the great secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention firmly and repeatedly focused on the feeling of the wish fulfilled until it fills the mind and crowds all other ideas out of consciousness. Neville's incredible. If you know about Neville, put a thumbs up in the comments. I'd love to know. It says, what greater gifts could be given to you than to be told the truth that will set you free? The truth that sets you free is that you can experience in your imagination what you desire to experience in your reality. And by maintaining this experience in your imagination, your desire will become an actuality. Wow. He says you are limited only by your uncontrolled imagination and a lack of attention to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. If you was making 5 figures every single month, how would it feel? That's all you've got to do. All you've got to do is feel what it would feel like if you already had the things that you wanted. What would that feel like? And then you stay in that feeling of the wish fulfilled. That means that you're on the same vibration as it. You have to attract it. Now, this is not some gibberish that I've made up. We're dealing with universal principles. Okay? There is certain laws that govern this universe. You all believe in the law of gravity. If you throw anything up in the air right now, it's going to come back down. Okay? That's a law. Now, you watching this, you didn't make that law. I didn't make that law. Therefore, we cannot change the law. Now, there's other laws, the law of vibration, which you probably know about, the law of attraction, and also the law of assumption. Just assume that you're already making 5 figures a month. And feel that feeling of what it feels like if you was already making 5 figures every single month. Like if you was making £10,000 plus a month, how would that feel? Okay? Then you stay in that feeling and you will start to see it manifesting your outside world. That's very powerful. You are limited only by your uncontrolled imagination and lack of attention to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. When the imagination is not controlled and the attention not steadied on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, then no amount of prayer or invocation will produce the desired effect. Feeling's the secret, guys. Feeling is the language of the subconscious mind. It's the language of the universe. The universe is bringing, and you are attracting how you feel. So what is your dominating feeling? Is it envy? Is it jealousy? Why can other people make this much money and I can't? Well, if you're feeling envy and jealousy, the law decrees that you can only attract what you're in harmony with. If you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling poor, then you're just going to attract more things to make you frustrated and more things to keep you poor. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The vibration that you are in is dictating what you attract. Okay? So if you feel abundant, if you're on an abundant vibration, all you can attract is abundant things. If you feel like you already make more than £10,000 every single month, you cannot help but attract it. All you've got to do is persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That's very powerful, okay? Because I notice a lot of entrepreneurs, they say, I want to make 10K plus a month, Joel. Okay? I want to. And I tell them, look, the universe doesn't respond to your words. The universe doesn't understand words. The universe responds to your dominating feelings. In other words, the universe responds to your vibration. I can't stress this enough. Feeling is a word that we made up to describe conscious awareness of vibration. So if you feel rubbish, that means that you are in a rubbish vibration. And whilst you're on that vibration, all you can attract to you is rubbish things. Vibration, and all you can attract is wealthy things. The law of attraction, pardon me, decrees that you can only attract what you are in harmonious vibration with. And you'll know your dominating emotions and feelings by having a look at your results. What relationships are you attracting? How much money are you earning every single month? What clients are you attracting? What leads are you attracting? You know, look at your results and they will always tell you the truth, okay? Nothing is a coincidence. This is an orderly universe and everything happens by law and not luck. And that's just so powerful what Neville says. Guys, for you guys coming in, I'm just breaking down and helping you guys implement The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. It's an absolutely incredible book. It's very powerful. He says the great secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention firmly and repeatedly focused on the object to be accomplished. It cannot be emphasized too much that by creating an ideal within your mental sphere, by assuming that you already have the ideal, you identify yourself with it and therefore transform yourself into its image. So let's break that down to money, okay? So you can implement it. It cannot be emphasized too much that by creating this £10,000 plus a month in your mental sphere on the inside, by assuming that you're already making 5 figures every single month, you identify yourself with it and therefore transform yourself into its image. It is the beginning and end of all creating. The secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention firmly and repeatedly focused on the feeling of the wish fulfilled until it fills the mind and crowds out all other ideas out of consciousness. That is incredible. And that's how within 5.5 months of getting mentorship by my mentor, Bob Proctor, I turned my yearly income into a monthly income. But before it manifested in my results, I already felt like I'd turned my yearly income into a monthly income. And it was that feeling that caused the manifestation. So you've got to ask yourself, what are you assuming? Let's say if you're in sales or you sell a product, you know, and you've got to hop on sales calls. Like, what are your assumptions before you get on a sales call? Oh, this person's going to have objections. This person's not going to be able to afford it. This person's going to have to speak to their partner. If you feel that way, it's not the person. It's your assumption that's going to cause that. So how about before you get on sales calls, you're assuming, I believe that anyone that books a call with me, I can help them and I can close them. And they are eager to work with me because I feel that no one is as good as me at what I do. Imagine if you went onto sales calls with that belief in yourself and that feeling. The person that's on the sales call, the prospect, would feel that. They would feel your belief because sales is all vibration. I'm telling you, you're blocking your own abundance. And I've been where you are. I knew about my mentor, Bob, for 8 years. I knew about Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I knew about Neville Goddard. I knew about The Secret. I was writing my goal every single minute and nothing changed. Why? Because all of that was my conscious mind, okay? It's your subconscious mind that controls 95% of your thoughts, emotions, actions, and decisions. Conscious mind is your thinking mind. Subconscious mind is your feeling mind. The subconscious mind is in control of your feelings. In other words, the subconscious mind is in control of the vibration that you're on. And the vibration that you're on is dictating what you attract. You know, I would really recommend, you know, for the guys that are just joining or have only just joined, go into the link in the description and downloading my free £10,000 plus month breakthrough blueprint. I mean, I put every single thing in there that I have learned, and this is everything that I put in there has helped my clients go from absolutely nothing to £10,000 a month. You know, I had a great client, Peter. He joined my mentorship within about, I think it was 6 weeks or 8 weeks. He made £20,000 in new work and set up a new company. Ibrahim, who's an online fitness coach, came to me making $3,000 every month, was frustrated. I said, look, just do what I tell you to do and you'll win in a big way. You don't have to work harder. You don't have to do anything, but you do have to be coachable and follow my instructions. Within about 3 months, he made his first $10,000 in a month. Like, this stuff works like magic. So let's remove them toxic beliefs about you've got to grind, you've got to hustle to get to £10,000 a month. Because I don't hustle. I travel the world doing what I love, eating great food, and living in absolute abundance. You know, for those of you that are watching that are new to me, go on my Instagram and see how I live, at Joel McLeod. You know, I am walking proof that this material works. And maybe you have given up in the past because you've tried affirmations, you've tried visualizing, you've listened to Bob and nothing's worked. And I'm telling you why it's not worked is because our conscious mind is in control of what we know. So when I'm speaking to you now, everything that I'm saying is going into your conscious mind. That's in control of what you know. But it's your subconscious mind that's in control of what you do with what you know. And I've been there. Why is it not working? I've watched The Secret 1,000 times. Why is my money not changing? And it's frustrating. I get it. Okay? But it's because you've not emotionalized this. Pardon me. It's because you've not emotionalized this material. Okay? Any of you's watched The Matrix, you'll know what Morpheus says to Neo. He says, look, there's a difference between walking the path. No, he says there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. So you might know the path, but if your income has not changed for months, you're not walking the path. You know this, but you don't know how to apply it, okay? Now, once you learn how to apply it and you impress these new beliefs that you're now a successful business owner, making 5 figures or more every single month with time freedom, you get time with your family, you get time to travel. Once your subconscious mind accepts that idea, you just watch what happens. And inside that £10,000 plus month blueprint, I show you exactly how to rewire your subconscious mind. You've got to stay in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And it's super simple. What would I love? What does that look like? How does that feel? What would I love? I would love to make £10,000 or more every single month and absolutely loving what I do with only working 15 hours a week. What does that look like? You build an image. You see your strike balance saying £10,000 in a day. And you feel the feeling of what that really feels like, that you've just received £10,000 in a day. If I can do this, you can do this, okay? Go and download the 10K blueprint. And if you're interested in mentorship, if you're ready and actually committed to following instructions and working with me, I will show you exactly what to do to get from £3,000 to £5,000 a month so you can make 10, 20, 30, £50,000 a month, okay? And I will show you the subconscious blocks that are holding you back. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. If this information resonates with you, share it with a friend. You know, I've been mentored by the best teacher in the world on human potential and success, Bob Proctor. And I'm top 1% of Bob Proctor's consultants worldwide. You know, I don't think this works. I don't wonder if this works. I know this works. I went from earning £15,000 a year, broke, with 2 children. My ex-partner was paying the rent, paying for my food. I went from £15,000 a year. Within 5.5 months, I was making £18,000 a month. And then I went from £18,000 a month to £35,000 a month. Once you get the right direction, things will start to change immediately for you. And I've not only done it for me, I've done it for countless of my clients as well. Okay? If you're interested in booking a call, leave a comment. I will reply to you. And in the meantime, go to the link in the description and download that 10K plus month breakthrough blueprint. It's completely free. Apply what's in it, and I promise you, you will start to attract more money than you ever thought was possible, okay? And if you're interested in the book, it's called The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard, and I would recommend getting this one with the red strip because it also includes Awakened Imagination, okay? And if you've not hit subscribe already, go and do it. I'm Joel McLeod. You have an incredible evening, day, or night, wherever you are in the world. Take care, guys. I'll also leave this up on my YouTube so you can go over the replay. Remember, it's the repetition of listening to the same thing, reading the same thing over and over again. That's going to fix the ideas in your subconscious mind. It's going to cause your results to change. Feeling's the secret, and so grateful you guys are tuning in. You know, I absolutely love what I do. It's the best material in the world. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.